In this video, we're going to learn how to manipulate date and time in PHP. So just to make the structure of this session clear, I have created some H3s inside the code. Okay, so first of all, we are going to learn how to get today's date and format it using PHP. And then we'll see how to get the time as well. Okay, and after that, we're going to get introduced to the timestamp concept. And we'll see how to get the current timestamp using the time function. And then we'll see how to convert that to time or the opposite. And finally, we're going to cover a couple of examples. First one is to get the day corresponding to a certain date. Okay, and finally, we'll see how to get the date in 1000 days from now. Okay, so let's start with the first part. So we're going to be writing some PHP code right after this header. Okay. So let's write our PHP tag there. So now we want to get today's date. Okay. So we're going to do, we're going to declare a variable. We're going to create a variable today. Okay. And we are going to set it to today's date using a PHP function. So this function is going to be date. So just before we continue, just bear in mind that every web server has got a built-in clock. So when we try in here to get today's date, it's going to be according to that clock. Okay. So if you click on Control K, you'll see some details about the date function. So you can see that it will format a local time and date. It's going to return a string. Okay, that's going to be the formatted date or date and time, and it's going to take a couple of arguments. So the first one is a string, which will determine what format we're going to be using for the date or time. And the second parameter is going to be an integer, and it's going to be the timestamp. Okay. So for now, we're going to use only one argument, and we're going to come back to the timestamp later. So our argument at the moment is only going to be a string, and this string is going to tell us how we're going to format the date. Okay. So let me try something, and then I'll explain how it works after. So I'm just going to write some letters there, and then space, capital M, comma, space, capital Y. So you can already guess that this refers to the day of the month, this refers to the month, and this refers to the year. Okay, so if we echo our variable, okay, and save, if you refresh the page, you can see today's date. Okay, so we've got 28 for D, okay, or the day of the month, and then space, and then capital M has been replaced with the month, okay, as abbreviation, and then comma, and then space, and then the year as for digits. Okay, so inside this string, we can see that we have told how we want to format our dates, and it came out like that. Okay, so we can change these parameters. So for example, small d, we can change it to J, for example, small j. We can change capital M to small m, and we can change the year, capital Y. You can change that to small y. Okay, so if we save and refresh, we can see now that the format has changed. Okay, we can add a hyphen between the day and the month. So rather than having a space, we can have a hyphen there. And if I save and refresh, we can see the new formats there. Okay. So I'm going to copy the formatting rules for the date as a comment. And that's how we can format the date in PHP. So that's how we can format the day of the month. We've got two choices, so either small d or small j. Okay, so the first one is going to give us 2 digits with leading zeros. The second one is without leading zeros. Okay, the day of the week, capital D for the day as abbreviation, small l for a lowercase, so it's a full day, full text, lowercase, capital L for uppercase. The month, 2 digits with leading zeros, we go for a small m. Otherwise, capital M is going to give us text as abbreviation. And for the year, small y, 2 digits, capital Y, 4 digits. And then we can use all these separators. So hyphen, as we did here. We can use a dot, we can use slashes, or a space. All right. So that's how we get the dates, and we can and how we format it. All right. Okay. So now let me just add a string just before this, saying today is, and then we can have our day there. Otherwise, we can place this inside the paragraph just to have a nice formatting. Okay, and we can have our variable inside. Okay, that's better. Okay, so you can play with these and try different formats. Okay. Now we're going to move to the time, and we're going to be using the same function, date. Okay, so I'm just going to create the PHP tag. Under the second header. So, and then I'm just going to copy as a comment the formatting rules for the time. Okay, so let's declare a variable, create a variable time, or let's keep today. Okay, and we're going to set the variable this time to dates. And we're going to be using the these formatting rules to get the time. Okay, so you've got rules for the hour. You can either use small h or capital H. Minutes, I, seconds. It's supposed to be S here, not I. Sorry. Okay, and then we've got the ante-meridian and post-meridian. We can either have a small a or capital A, depending on whether we want lowercase or uppercase. Okay, so let's try something. So let's try, for example, so for the hour, let's use small h, okay, for the 12-hour format. And let's have a colon. And then after that, let's have small I, colon, and then S for the seconds. And let's have a space and add the ante-meridian or post-meridian. So let's go for capital A. Okay, so if we echo a paragraph saying time is, now we can see our time printed there with the format that we have chosen. Okay, so you can see the hour. Okay, small h gave us the hour in the 12-hour format. By the way, if we change that to capital H, You see that's at the moment it's 14. Okay. And then we've got the minutes, and then the seconds, and then the post meridian. Okay. All right. Now we are going to move to the timestamp concept. Okay. So what is the timestamp? So the way the computer stores time is different from the way we see it. Okay. So this time that we have printed on our screen is just a readable format of the time. But the computer stores the time in a different way. The computer is going to use a format that we call the Unix timestamp. Okay, and basically what the computer is doing, it's going to measure time as a number of seconds since the beginning of the Unix epoch. So the beginning of the Unix epoch is January the 1st, 1970, okay, at midnight according to the Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, so if you want to get the timestamp now, okay, we are going to use a PHP function called time. Okay, so let's write some PHP code after the header, and let's create a variable timestamp. So we're going to use the PHP function time, and if you want to see details about this function, Control K, and you can see that it's going to return the current Unix timestamp. Okay, so it's not going to take any parameters. Okay, and if we echo a paragraph saying timestamp is, and we just add our variable, timestamp. Okay, so the current timestamp is this. So this means that we have this number of seconds which elapsed since the beginning of the Unix epoch. Okay, so that's how it works.